Like an army defeated, the snow hath retreated. Some of the first signs of spring are catkins. They appear early as their pollen is carried by the wind, so they don't rely on insects like bees, which are still in hibernation. Wind blows the pollen from the male parts of the plants, some of this pollen will hopefully land on the female parts of the plants. This allows pollination and then fertilization to take part. If this does not happen, then there will be no fruits from these plants later in the year. So it will be interesting to see if there are any hazelnuts later in the year, like these from last year. Other signs to look out for this spring are snowdrops, wood anemone, celandines, and crocuses. Also shoots of other plants appearing, such as bluebells and daffodils. These plants often grow in woods, so they have to grow and flower early before the trees get their leaves and shade them out. You can also look out for birds showing activity around old nests, like these rooks. Some people believe that our climate is changing and spring is getting earlier. This seems to go against the very cold weather we have just had in February. Your school could get involved with helping scientists monitor when spring starts each year, by recording when some of the events we have shown happen each year. See this website for details. The tomatoes have grown quite a bit since last time. This man is twisting the strings round the stem to give the plant some support. He is also removing some of the side shoots, which will not produce any fruit.
So as you can see those two there where the flowers are just cracked. The bees will be released next week. They'll pollinate those two flowers, and within about a week we'll see a little tiny, like a third of the size of a green pea, which will then become the tomato.
Right, what we do is when we first get the bees here, we take them out and we put pollen in the top of the hive. That's your pollen there, because we're not going to be releasing them until we see the first flowers which actually crack on the plants. So the pollen we just sprinkle a little bit into the hives to keep the bees alive. Then cover them up and then put them back onto the rack, ready for releasing when we need to release when we see enough flower.
Keeping a greenhouse at a temperature of 18 degrees centigrade in cold weather is very expensive in energy costs. 1 hectare of greenhouse costs about £1,000 per week to heat. So the grower is putting insulation up in his greenhouse in preparation for filling it with tomatoes. This insulation will save him up to 30% of the energy costs of this greenhouse each week. Can you work out how much money that will be? Cucumbers are another plant grown in greenhouses. These are just being planted. These plants are just 30 days old. 35,000 cucumbers will be planted in this one greenhouse. We will follow these cucumbers over the coming week. Another plant you might not expect to find in a greenhouse is strawberries. Strawberries are grown in greenhouses so that they can be enjoyed fresh over a longer period.
Bring these leaves forward so that they're down like this, all along the bee. You go up one side and down the other, and this is basically to make the next jobs easier. It also allows air in to circulate around the plants to reduce the risks of moulds and other diseases. So all it is you just go now that we've done that, this is what we're after, the new growth coming through. Moving this on, it'll encourage the leaves to take up the light and make the fruit to appear later on in the form of trusses.
Again, we will follow these strawberry plants over the coming weeks. The piglets we saw being born are now old enough to look after themselves and have been weaned from their mother. The piglets are put in these special houses, some on slats and some on straw. Both slats and straw systems have their advantages. Slats means the piglets are always clean and dry. While straw-based systems are cheaper to set up. The weaned piglets are fed a special balanced diet, just like you need. And of course, water. The piglets born outside will also soon be weaned. Again, this outdoor system has its advantages and disadvantages. It is again cheaper to set up and is lovely in summer. But the cold weather we have just had can be life-threatening for piglets. After being weaned, the sows are then mated again with the boar pig, ready to have another litter of pigs. Sows will produce 2 litters a year. This is important as it makes sure we have enough food and that the farmer has some chance of making money from keeping pigs. However, making money is not guaranteed, especially when people buy pork and bacon from countries which don't keep pigs in as high welfare standards as the UK, and so can sell meat at a cheaper price in the shops. To make sure your food comes from the UK, look for the red tractor logo and Union Jack on the packet.